Toot toot! All aboard as we go sinning, shipping, and firing all our cannons in the field of love when it comes to talking about writing and why you need to think about shipping in your writing. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Shadi and I am a black novelist in Japan. But today you can call me Popeye. Oh God, I just had flashbacks to the nanny. I don't know. Anyways, my name is Shadi. My real name is Shadia, but Shadi today, not Popeye. I am here to give you some writing techniques that you can use in the bedroom as you write your novel or poetry or just work on your craft. Anything is okay. You can pick your poison and listen along or just use me as background noise. It's your choice, it's your choice, it's your choice. Just don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you didn't catch my previous video on burnout, it was on burnout, please check above. All right, so let's get into the topic of shipping. But first, y'all don't say I didn't ever put on a show for you guys, because I can't believe I actually spent money on this, but it's cute. I feel like a little sailor. Before we start the video, what comes to mind when you think of shipping? I'm a little scared for the answers. I'm gonna put it up here. Shipping is in fandom. Shipping is the desire, hope, or act of supporting a romantic or sexual relationship between two or more characters, fictional or real life, often regardless of whether that relationship exists in the original canon or not. This word is derived from the word relationship and involves creating content like fan fiction, fan art, and discussions about the pair. Why do you think I'm talking about this today, and why do you think that you should know about it and want this in your novels? Let's get into it. I would like for you to think of shipping as equaling an emotional investment. What do I mean by that? When readers ship characters, they're not just having this kind of passive feelings toward it. It's not just something that's happening. It's something they are invested in. They are rooted in this. They want to see it happen. They want to know how everything's going to unfold. And that wanting and that desire builds anticipation and sometimes worry. Like I said, it's an emotional investment. Just picture you're the bank and you want them to invest all their emotions in what you're offering. You want the readers to imagine outcomes, basically, for what you have from the beginning to the end, and even after the end. You want them to have some idea or some imagination that they can run wild with, because when they're doing that, they're also investing in the relationship that you are giving to them. You want readers to imagine outcomes, whether it's the outcome that you have prepared for them, wrapped up nicely with a cute little bow as a present, or it's something they can take and run with on their own in their imagination or in their fan fictions. I've been there. I've been there. Another reason that you may want to consider shipping in your novel, and this is very specific to romance novels, is that shipping creates natural tension that you want so that the readers are turning the pages. You want a real page turner, so you need that tension, which means you need that shipping going. Why do I keep doing this? What is wrong with me? When readers start shipping and they take the characters that you give and they start, again, running wild with it, that means that every little interaction matters. They are looking for little threads that you are giving them to sew and quilt and make something. That's so exciting, right? That means that every interaction matters, and they're trying to figure out, before, if they don't know who the character is going to be with, they're trying to figure out it's going to be this person or this person or this person. They're looking for that. It also means that small moments feel charged, which is super important because you want those small moments to matter just as much as the big ones do. And that also means when it comes to readers reading your ships or sailing the ships, you want them to know that, how can I say it? The scenes that you're creating, giving to them, carry emotional weight. That goes back into the investment I was talking about earlier, because you want them to feel something towards it. Stop. That anticipation they have for will they, won't they, is what is going to get them to be more compelled to turn to the next page and see when it eventually happens, and if they don't, they get to that happily ever after. The goal is just to, again, build tension and get the reader to think, will something change? Will this specific moment change the trajectory of the relationship? And I am speaking for romance novels specifically since I am in the romance genre. Okay, let's move on to the next point. Another reason I also personally love shipping is that shipping encourages discussion, rereads, and talks. Everyone's talking about this person should be with this person. No, this person should be with this dog. Why did... Ew, no. Ah. Anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. If you are in the romance genre, you are going to want your readers to go back and reread to catch those small moments that you nuggeted in there like little dingleberries in a doo-doo. You want them to go back to read that and be like, oh, why didn't I notice that when he was handing her the pencil, their hands slightly touched and he did that on purpose? Keep that in mind. You're going to want fan discussion as they fight over this character needing to be with this character, but they're not actually going with that character because they're going with this character. Thomas the Strook, Miraculous Ladybug. Don't get me started. You're just going to want that fan discussion. It's going to be really important and it's going to help get your novel out there as you market it and encourage other people to read it. You're also going to want edits, quotes, analysis. You're going to want to hear all the theories about what was going on and why people liked it and what they actually think should happen and why this owl foot cramp. Oh my god. Oh, my leg. Your butt. Ita. I'm dying. Okay. Maybe I was too enthusiastic. Oh my god. Okay. I swear I'm not naked. I'm just in really short shorts. Anyways. You're going to want those analyses. You're going to want them quoting the characters, and you're going to want them having fun and engaging with your content. Right? Right, Inuyasha? Right, Sesshomaru? These guys are shipped a lot, even though they're brothers. We're not in Alabama. It's fine, though. It's fine. If you are writing a romance novel, do you want ships? Yes. Yes, you do. And we're going to get more into that in about 2 seconds. What a lot of authors and other writers may find with their work and with their characters is that there are non-canons, and that's when a character is taken and shipped with someone else that they're not even meant to be with. For example, because I got Miraculous Ladybug on the mind, that can be Marinette being shipped with, I forgot her name already. That's how much of a character she isn't. Chloe's new Zoe, whatever her name is. They got paired together, and then Thomas Struck made a post saying, canonically, Marinette is bisexual. I think he said that. Don't get me started on the fandom. The Miraculous Ladybug fandom, when it comes to shipping, that's a whole episode in and of itself. That stuff is wild. Some reasons you may have non-canon romances being and coming about, and it's not a bad thing or a good thing, it's just a thing. That can be when chemistry appears before the author is ready to resolve it or have it actually make sense. So readers are just kind of taking the information given and going every which way with it. Another, probably more common reason, in my humble opinion, is that the tension between character A and C is stronger than it is with A and B, even though A and B are supposed to be together. So that's why everyone's going to A and C, because just maybe by accident, maybe through some wishy-washy way, I don't know, the author wrote A and C to be together better. It happens. It does happen. Very often, actually, I think. That's how we get, what is it? While Sasuke went with Sakura, we got a lot of Naruto Sasuke fanfiction. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's a thing. And my last point on that is, all that just goes to say, you can have emotional resonance, but narratively, it doesn't make any sense at all. So that's why sometimes the readers take what you give them and run and make their own conclusions from that. What you can do in some of these cases, if you are a writer, is be sure not to make the emotional dynamic too confusing or sometimes even too convincing when it comes to characters that are not the main pair, the main group. You also may want to check your ambiguity when you are writing. Do not be too ambiguous so that any interpretation is welcomed. If you truly are a writer and sold on the idea of these guys need to be together. And going into that point, don't be too subtle. You don't want to do that. But those are just a few small things you can do to kind of fix if you are worried about being shipped, or if you are worried about non-canons existing and you're not okay with it and you're a writer. Those are just some things you may want to consider. To me, as a writer who loves to see whatever people can conjure up and create in their head is fascinating. But I know to other people, maybe not. So don't be ashamed or hurt or sad if your characters, the ones you originally put together, aren't what people are feeling. I don't think that's anything people would get upset at, though, really. I mean, as a writer, I can't imagine, just using my first novel as an example, I have some kind of chemistry between the main character, Barry, and the best friend of her husband. You can tell something's there, but it's up to the it's up to the reader to interpret it. I remember when I first put up the first, I think the first 50 pages or something, my professor at that time commented, "Oh, it seems like there's something going on with Barry and Yusuke. Are you going to..." Was it Yosuke? Not me forgetting my characters' names. Oh my lord. Anyway, she's like, "Are you going to elaborate on that more?" Which basically means, don't dingle $100 in my face if you're not going to give it to me. So I'm not going to tell what I did with that relationship right there and that dynamic, but you can read my novel when it comes out in 2027 spring to find out. All that just goes to say, if I saw fan fiction, if someone happens to read my novel and I see a fan fiction of Barry with Yosuke, even though that's obviously not the pairing because that's not her husband, I would read it. I would read it and be like, oh, so that's what could have happened. That's kind of cool. Anyways, let's go on to statistics. Ta-da! In fandom research, over 90% of shippers surveyed were single, and nearly half had never been in a romantic relationship. Now, ain't that something fascinating? Oh, sorry, I just hit the mic, which is down near my titty. Oh my god, what happened? Okay, whatever. Anyways, that means you're providing a special relationship for them to latch onto. That's so exciting. And I'm one of those people because I am single and ready to flamingo right now. Moving on. You, at this point, are probably asking, what makes shipping work? Why is it that some fandoms like truly take off? I'm looking at Miraculous Ladybug, I'm looking at Inuyasha and Kagome, I'm looking at Sakura and Sasuke, though I do see more Naruto and Sasuke, if I'm honest. I'm looking at so many different shows and books and everything, and why does it take off is the real question. I'm gonna tell you why. Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
I cannot say it like him. Anyways, point number 1. High emotional proximity. If your readers, for some reason, ship the characters early on in a romance novel, you are doing something right. You want that emotional proximity, so if they're close and can have the opportunity to interact with each other. You want the awareness shift where first the character's like, I hate this person, but then, wait, why do I suddenly want to be near them all the time? What's happening? You want that. I want that. And then if you are going the subtle way, and I know I said don't do it too much before, but I'm saying within reason, if you want that subtextual intimacy, you're going to need to keep that in mind because that will help you get the HEP. Okay, that goes into my next point. Point number 2. You are going to want rich subtext, and I really, really love this when it comes to romance writing for 100 different reasons, but I'm going to put up here kind of a definition of it, and then I'm also going to give you an example that I got from the internet. So, it says, rich subtext in writing conveys deep emotional, thematic, or narrative meaning beneath the surface dialogue and action, forcing readers to act as detectives to uncover the true unspoken tension. And one of the best examples that they listed here, I'm going to read it word for word. I'm not copying, just reading it, but the thematic, and this is also in the book too, I haven't read it in a long time, but thematic subtext of the shirt scene in The Gatsby, when Daisy's breaking down and crying about those shirts that Leonardo DiCaprio was throwing at her. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, but that is very obviously subtext. It's her grieving over the loss of like real love that she could have had, and also probably her marriage too. Like there's a lot of different things, but that is rich emotionally. Rich is subtext. Moving on. I'm going to tell you what doesn't make shipping work, but this is my 4th and final point on this part. Force. Do not force a ship. As much as I respect Thomas Astruc, however you say it, for giving us the wonderful Miraculous Ladybug infinite like shipping possibilities between Chat Noir and Ladybug and Marinette and Adrian. He definitely forced, could have done it so many different ways, and he forced that relationship so hard with how he made Adrian fall for Marinette. Don't force it. Don't force it. Don't force it. You do not want a romance that exists just to satisfy the plot. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Then let me move on to the tips on how to actually have good romance and canon and shipping in your novel. It's just 3 really simple ways. I will breeze by it. I promise, I promise, I promise. Number 1, have them grow out of shared experience. That is such an easy and natural way for bonding when it comes to characters. And think about it in real life too. It's a really easy way for bonding. Let them have the same trauma, the same drama, and come together because of it. There's nothing more that I love than 2 wounded characters finding love in a, whatever you want to say, in a dark place, in a desperate place, whatever. You get my point. Anyways, point number 2. Baby, you better have those characters change. Change like I change my underwear every day. You need that emotional growth if you want to have the shippers being like, oh, this girl started off as this terrible person and she gradually became this wonderful person through meeting this kind of okay guy. Just an idea. Just an idea. Take it, please. I'm giving it to you. I'm selling it to you like I'm selling dreams. Or like I'm sailing dreams. Toot toot. I don't know why doing toot toot is so hard for me. Anyways, number 3. You are going to want your ship to sail and thrive on a lot of different things that revolve around desire and longing and yearning. And readers asking themselves, what if? What if this happened? What if that happened? What if this never happened? You're going to want to sell them that and get them to think about that. Also, if you're really trying to push the boundaries, have the ship sail on almost love that is almost there but doesn't actually happen for one reason or another. You want the readers to constantly be thinking about the characters and letting them live rent-free in the characters' heads. That also can come from emotional restraint. If you play your cards right, emotional restraint done correctly and not overly done in a novel can be a really great thing that will keep readers on the edge of their seat. Trust me, I've been there. I've been that reader on the edge of their seat waiting for something to happen and like desperately hoping for it to happen. So just a thought. All of that just goes to say, as my biggest and most best piece of advice, is make that love real. I talked about it in a previous video, but you really want to not sell the dream, but give them the feeling of love. And there's nothing that I don't like more than an unrealistic love story. I don't care if it's vampires in space, in a, I don't know, moon rocket, whatever. You can still sell a very believable love story in that way, but don't try to rush it. Don't try to force it. Don't do anything that would take away from the love actually coming across as genuine or real. As a reader, I can speak in saying that I don't just want shipping and canon, but I want something that's real and something that I can personally invest my feelings into. If it feels real, I will be taking that feeling with me as I'm on the train, as I'm going to work, as I'm laying in bed. I will be thinking about it and I will be feeling it. So give the reader a feeling, not just a noun, a love. Does that make sense? All that just goes to say, have that steady progression when it comes to love. Have that emotional beat when you can, if you're writing romance. And also know that there are payoffs that come with shipping and writing the romance and actually having it exist in there and having readers latch onto it. You don't just want the reader to read your work, you want them to engage with it. You want them to think about all the possibilities and linger in the possibilities and just really have fun with your work. I would hope that if someone read something that, actually not I would hope, I know. After writing fan fictions, one of the best feelings in the world was having the reader actually speak with me and talk about what they were thinking, what they were feeling. And you know, I have had some people do fan work or fan pictures of my writing, and it's so fun. I love it. I love it. I love it. You will too. If you are just getting started with writing, whether it be fan fiction, whether it be something you show your friends, or whether it be something you publish for the world, having that engagement and that connection with the readers, especially through shipping, is a fun time. I promise you. If I'm wrong, you can cut off my pinky. Anyways, now that I have given you some tips and techniques on what to think about when writing your novel, shipping, canning, Canoning? I don't know. Wakaranai. But now that I've given you those tips, I think that you can start your writer's journey. Please, please, please start. This is the end of the video, obviously. So I guess I will end it by saying you can check my playlist up above on writing techniques, if you please. You can check down below in the description box to see any statistics or resources that were used for this video. And you can see behind the scenes when it comes to my life in Japan as a novelist and goofing off with my friends and family here on my socials, which you will catch in the B-roll at the end. Please listen to the song. I love this song. I paid money for this song. That being said, in the next video on, is it Saturday? Kana? In the next video, you will catch me talking about productivity, where I talk about writing in seasons, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you will soon find out. I'm actually really excited because I will talk about my writing process in that video and how I wrote for you. Whew, it's gonna be a fun one. But until the next video, oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, please. I work very hard on these videos, obviously, if you can tell by the... Yeah, I work very hard. Whew. Anyways, until next time, please stay happy, safe, healthy, and be sure to write your heart's content.